Hi, everybody. You're listening to the weekly news wrap up here on WXED at its temporary new time here at noon on Saturdays so that you all can enjoy Christmas music for your Christmas in the park. So here we go. We have Cassie in the studio. We're going to do our weekly news wrap up. Not a whole lot going on, even though we missed last week because it was a holiday.
Yeah, actually, I think we've missed like the past 3 weeks.
Well, I think there was one somewhere in there. Yeah, because I think you were sick the 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that I was sick the week before that. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's been 3 weeks.
And I think I had an appointment. So, I think it was 3 weeks.
That's crazy. There's been so much going on. It just didn't seem like it had been 3 weeks, but I think you're right. I think it has been. So maybe people won't be missing the weekly news wrap up at its normal time at 6 p.m. because it hasn't been there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. We're at noon now so that everybody can hear their Christmas music. So anyway, can we start off by talking about an old story, but it still is current, with Kyrie Beecham. She was a big name. Everybody in Elwood has heard Kyrie's name. She had a 4-organ transplant a year ago.
Wow.
And I haven't been hearing a whole lot about Kyrie lately. And it was just on Kyrie's Dream Team Facebook page that she suffered a setback again recently. And
what is the setback?
They're saying that the test results are coming back that she's having rejection again. So they're giving her medication to stop the rejection of the organs. So they said that it's her. I think they said her pancreas is doing badly and her colon's doing badly. So
bless her.
She's back in the hospital. I guess she went in Thanksgiving, I want to say. But the family posted, I guess, on Facebook just yesterday, I think, that she was actually feeling better and talking about how she missed her school and her friends and her little baby kitty. So I was surprised when I read that she's 10 years old already. It just doesn't seem like she would be 10 because, time just flies by. And I was surprised whenever I read that it had been a year since her, 4-organ transplant because it didn't feel like that long ago. But she's had so many ups and downs and, the bumpy road. And I just wanted to bring her up so that everybody just doesn't forget that it wasn't just this miraculous 4-organ transplant a year ago and everything's fine. She's still struggling and she's still, up and down. She's in the hospital right now. So,
do we know what hospital she's in?
She's in Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh.
Okay. I actually thought I saw something on the article that if anyone wanted to send, any good wishes to her, that there's a mailing address.
Yeah, and I think that mailing address is also listed if you go on Facebook. They have a page. It's called Kyrie's Dream Team.
How do you spell Kyrie, just for people?
I think it's Kyree.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kyrie's Dream Team on Facebook usually keeps everybody up to date with what's going on. So just wanted to mention that, right off the bat.
Yeah, hopefully she's okay. I mean, that must be really horrible for her family.
Prayers that she gets out in time to come home for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Having to go into the hospital on Thanksgiving is just terrible.
Well, hopefully she'll be okay.
Yeah.
Breaks my heart to hear stuff like that.
But we have a warning that we read about. And luckily I haven't heard anybody personally who this has happened to, but there was a warning out. There is a con man out there calling people on the phone, telling them that he works for a charity organization for the Elwood City Policeman's Holiday Fund. And Mayor Tony Court recently released a statement saying that there is no Elwood City holiday charity fund at all. It's fake. And this guy is actually so brazen that he's calling people up, asking for money, and then offering to meet people to collect this donation. And it's all a con. So
I wonder if his phone calls are traceable. You know what I mean? Next time I go and do the police reports, I'll have to get an update on it.
Yeah, definitely. Because it didn't say that they have any leads to who it is.
No, it didn't even say further investigation, which is usually what it says.
Yeah, so I was surprised. But just, a warning out to Elwood City residents. If you receive a phone call and someone is soliciting funds for the Elwood City Policeman's Holiday Fund, it does not exist. It is a scam. So,
speaking of which, there was just a police report the other day about someone, it's that time of year where people are getting packages and and they're getting left on their front porch. And of course, there's always going to be someone that's trying to steal those packages. Well, you know, it happens here. Specifically, it happened on Mount Vernon Drive. This instance, a homeowner came home after their package was, you know, delivered, because, you know, you get like notifications for when it's delivered. And they came home and there was no package there.
Yeah, because every time that we have something shipped to us, Amazon always sends you an alert telling you that the package was just delivered.
Yeah.
And I know that they always tell everybody, you know, have your packages sent to a neighbor, have them sent to your job, or make sure that someone is home to receive them. Don't have your packages just delivered and dropped off. Another thing is people can add signature required delivery.
Yeah.
Which means somebody has to sign for them. You know, that can ensure that your packages don't get left on the porch. And I know I just went to a woman's house the other day. It was for business. I didn't personally know her. And she wasn't home. And there were like 6 packages laying on her porch.
Oh, wow.
And I was thinking to myself, that just can't be good.
Yeah.
You know, and her mailbox was really full, which tells everybody that she hasn't been home for a few days. You know, that right there just screams, I'm on vacation, go ahead and steal my stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I just was like, wow, some people just don't think, you know.
Well, what's funny is that people think it's a great idea to steal these packages without realizing that stealing someone's mail is a felony.
It's federal, yeah, that's a federal crime.
Yep. You can get in a lot of trouble for that.
Oh my gosh. And a lot of people, even if they do take precautionary measures and have cameras, it was just on the news about a week and a half ago. They showed a guy caught on camera, and he was wearing a safety vest, so he looked like he was a township worker, and, you know, was able to walk around seemingly, you know, unnoticeable, like he didn't stand out to where somebody thought, oh, that guy doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
Because he had on a fluorescent jacket and looked like somebody that works for, you know, a road crew or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody even wondered. And he was caught right on camera, walking up on people's porches and taking packages. And I just was like, wow.
I just can't believe that, you know, people go to these lengths. I mean, last week, I guess I can throw this in there because we didn't do our last week's show.
Yeah.
You know, I did a police report that someone stole Christmas decorations from someone's house, and it's like, how petty do you have to be? Like, why would you want used Christmas decorations? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well, how about this? This was several years ago, but you just reminded me of it. There's a woman down in Elport, and she always has big Christmas decorations out every year. There was a feud in the neighborhood, and one of the neighbors was mad and was harassing her, telling her that she decorates too early, that it was too early to have to see Christmas decorations. And so there was a feud, and they went over and they cut all the wires to all of her decorations.
Did they? I mean, they got caught doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was several years ago, but I just thought, wow. I mean, it shouldn't be anybody's concern what you do on your property, regardless of what time of year it is, you know. And where is that? You know, where is that set day where it says it's okay to decorate? Like, because I decorate before Thanksgiving, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. And
yeah,
but the reason I do it though is because when Thanksgiving comes around and you have all these guests in your house, I just want my house to look festive, like welcome to the holidays, you know.
Yeah, I ended up putting up our tree the day before Thanksgiving, you know, and I Snapchatted it, and everyone was like, "It's way too early," and I was like,
No.
"I think it looks really nice. You know, it's a really nice nightlight."
Yeah.
My dogs enjoy it when I'm not home.
Oh yeah, we leave our tree lights on. We recently, last year, invested in all new lights. We got LEDs, so they last like forever. And so I don't turn my tree on and off. I turn it on and I just leave it on. And my cats lay underneath the tree. And I was really worried that they were going to tear it apart because I have a kitten who's only 9 months old.
Yeah.
And I've seen the crazy cat videos where they're like knocking trees down.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't. She's not destructive, but she loves to lay under it and like look up at all the lights.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
I was talking to somebody the other day. Oh, Crystal from Crystal's Country Corner. She has a little teeny tiny dog, like the size of, you know, 2 hands put together. You know what I mean? Like a little 2-pound dog. And she said she put up her tree and she hasn't decorated it yet, but she put the tree skirt under it. And she said he'll go over there and he'll claw and paw at the tree skirt and ball it up all into a ball and make a puppy bed and sleep under the tree.
Oh, that's so cute.
It is adorable. I told her, I said, once you get it all decorated, you have to get a picture of him under the tree. Maybe put a little bow on his head, you know?
That's so adorable. Oh, I love animals.
It is. It's so cute. So, I know there's not a lot of news, but, you know, I used to always tell Jonathan whenever he was doing this, no news is sometimes good news. That means nothing's really going on.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this whole week, like, I've really just been scraping by trying to write articles for stuff because it's like, it's been so quiet.
Yeah.
You know, with the elections being over and, you know, there's not as many festivities going on. And
well, we should mention, I guess, since this is airing earlier at noon, that it's going to be Christmas in the Park, and the Elwood City Parade will be happening just hours after this airs. Because if this airs at noon on Saturday, I think the parade is at like 3. So that's going on. And then on WXED, the reason we changed the time of this broadcast is because WXED actually is playing the music that people can tune into while driving through Christmas in the Park. So when you drive into Christmas in the Park, there will be signs telling everybody to turn to 107.3 so they can hear their Christmas music while going through, looking at all the decorations and the trees. And WXCD, I'm so happy. This is the first year that we actually sponsored a Christmas tree in the park.
Aw.
Yeah, ours is as you come to the end of the drive through the park, when you get to the booth where they take donations, the WXCD tree is the very, very last tree on the right. So as people are stopping to pay their donations, our tree is right outside the passenger window.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I don't know. Like I said, there's just not really a whole lot going on, so there's not a whole lot of news. But there was one thing that I wanted to inform people about in case they haven't seen it on our site. There is a suicide prevention class.
Really?
That Lawrence County residents are invited to take part in, and it's going to be December 9th at 12 p.m. at the Tree of Life Wellness Center in Elwood. And it is sponsored by, you know, the Elwood City Behavioral Health Unit in the hospital. And, you know, the idea of it is exactly, you know, what it says is that they train you to kind of recognize the warning signs that people give whenever, you know, they're kind of contemplating
and that is a really scary thing. I've had several friends commit suicide over the last several years, and it leaves all your friends and family wondering, what didn't I do? What didn't I see? And what didn't I say? You know, or you hear everybody say, if only I would have known. I could have done something. And so a class like that teaches people to recognize, because in all honesty, when you see people out there on their Facebooks making posts every day about killing themselves, really aren't the people who are probably most likely to do it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't reach out to them, because obviously they're in need of something.
Oh, yeah.
But the truth is people who are really actually set on killing themselves don't usually tell people.
Yes. And you know what? I was speaking with one of the behavioral health, teachers, and she told me that, like, over 66% of people that commit suicide, you know, do show warning signs and could be helped, and you know, they're embarrassed to ask for help. And the way that she stated it was that, you know, there's so much support for people with physical health disabilities, and but for some reason people with mental health disabilities are made to feel like they should be embarrassed, or like they should just get over whatever the problem is, and they a lot of times just feel that that's the only way out.
I watched a documentary one time that was it stated something that I thought was so disturbing, and it was a mother talking about her son who had committed suicide, and she was talking about how happy he was. Like, he had been seemingly depressed for a while about bullies at school, and he came home one day and he was kind of beep-bopping through the house, and she remembers thinking that she was so relieved that he was finally happy, and he committed suicide that night. And what was disturbing was they had a counselor, a doctor, come on and say that in a lot of cases they seem really happy And it's not because their situation is happy. It's because they finally have made peace with themselves that they're going to do it. And I thought that was so disturbing, because I know me as a parent, if I saw my child depressed and then I saw them happy, I would never think, oh my gosh,
there's something wrong.
What if they've, conceded to do something? I would just think, oh, thank goodness they're finally happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that, I'm a mother of 4 kids. And, I've gone through the teenage years now. This is my 4th time through. My youngest is 14. My oldest is 24. And I know that a lot of nights I have needed to reach out to somebody to talk to, because, I was having a hard time dealing with my kids' emotions. They were coming home with all these emotions, being bullied in school and, different things like that. And so I literally, over the years, have, just memorized the crisis number. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It's 24 hours a day. I mean, I've called them, and I've even called them in the middle of the night before. And it's located in Newcastle. So, I would say that anybody dealing with anything like that, if it happens, at a time where most places are closed, the Lawrence County Crisis Line is open 24 hours.
I think a lot of people are afraid to call crisis lines because they feel as though, if they call, then they're going to call an ambulance or the cops to assist the person.
I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people think that, but like I said, I have called crisis many times. And I can tell you that out of none of those calls have ambulance or police ever had to come, because the person on the other end of the line was able to either talk to me and give me advice on what I should do, or talk to, one of my teenagers until they were calm. And they literally were like, they said, we don't feel like we need to send anybody because he's calm now, whatever. But for anybody out there dealing with anything like that, I just want to throw out there, the crisis line for Lawrence County is 724-652-9000. That's a pretty easy number, 652-9000. And, but, that's just kind of like literally a crisis situation. But if you feel like you just want some pointers and tips, definitely the suicide classes that they're having, that's a great thing.
Oh, I thought it was wonderful, you know, because, again, I see firsthand a lot of the police reports, and I can tell you there was about 4 separate ones just in the past week of people overdosing on heroin. Several of them had perished. And it's really been an epidemic, you know, with, I don't know if it's, people trying to commit suicide, people, thinking that doing heroin's okay now with Narcan. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know what the
going
spike
on.
is either, but it's been so sad.
Yeah, but regardless, if it is due to wanting to just commit suicide, these classes are just an excellent way for the public to, help.
Right, and I always tell everybody the best way to help is to be educated.
Yes, and I mean, they even give you a certificate afterwards saying that you are qualified in the suicide prevention training.
Okay, so before we close out or anything, can we get the address and the date one more time for that suicide prevention class?
It is December 9th at 12 p.m. at the Tree of Life Wellness Center, and it'll last about an hour and a half, and you do get a certificate at the end saying that you are qualified for suicide prevention.
Well, that's great. And if anybody's wondering, the Tree of Life Wellness Center is located right at the end of the Ewing Park Bridge.
Yep.
It's right there. All right, so do we have anything else for our weekly news wrap-up?
I just wanted to congratulate all the winter sports teams on their upcoming season. I actually went and interviewed them on their media day at Elwood High School, and they're all so excited about it, and we have meet and greets with all of them, all the seniors on our page if anyone's interested in that. And we also have the schedules and the roster on our sports page. So anyone who is interested in the sports, definitely give it a check.
Yeah, absolutely. As with everything that we talk about, unless otherwise we tell you to, check out Facebook or something else, you guys can always look on elwoodcity.org. The weekly news wrap-up is sponsored by elwoodcity.org here on WXCD 107.3. And as a reminder, we are now streaming. So if you are driving out of Elwood City and you're going to miss your favorite show, make sure you pull over before you do anything. But on your smartphones, you can go to www.wxcdfm.com, click the listen button, click the play button, and you'll never have to miss a WXCD show again.